Hey, how's it going? It's Liman Ali from WeKnowGamers. Today I'm with Meagan Marie, the CNC, or I should call it the Communications and Community Manager for Tomb Raider?
Yeah, well, for Square
Enix.
Crystal Dynamics, the entirety of Square Enix.
Everything, basically, everything. And so today we got to play a bit of the new upcoming Tomb Raider, and I'm just going to ask Meagan here a few questions about the game and get a little more insight on what's actually going on with Lara Croft.
Great.
So, Meagan.
What you got for me?
So basically, one of the first things I wanted to know is Lara Croft herself. What's happened to her?
So, give it to you from the top then. So, essentially, this is a 21-year-old Lara Croft.
Right.
She's fresh out of university. She's sort of this ambitious but untested young woman. And she's going off on her first expedition on a ship called the Endurance with this really interesting crew. And they're looking for an area called the Dragon's Triangle off the coast of Japan. And they get caught in this freak storm that ends up capsizing the ship, and she wakes up on the island captured by these hostile natives. And that's sort of the beginning of the heart of the story and the mystery of this island. So she essentially, her motivation very early on is just survival, just putting one foot in front of the other and keep breathing. But along those lines, as she's trying to survive and escape the island, she starts to sort of uncover the mystery around it.
Okay, because I found it quite interesting that you decided to take what was Lara Croft or Tomb Raider for so many years and then make it the complete opposite. Was it to bring a more dramatic effect to the character, not just this person was always hardcore, could do anything she wants? Was it more to push the story more, push her more as a character, or to give her more background as to where she came from?
I think it's both. So we want to provide the context and the motivation for the characters that people can relate to her.
Yeah.
But I actually don't think that Lara herself is the exact opposite of classic Lara. So classic Lara, while she's totally superhuman, I feel like she's literally like she's a superhuman with her abilities and whatnot. This Lara is going to be more grounded in reality, but spiritually they're very much similar, in my opinion. They're both very ambitious, intelligent, articulate. They both have the same traits. The difference is that this new Lara, she just hasn't
fully developed
them yet.
Yeah.
And that's huge to our stories. We want to make sure that in that narrative, she's going to grow, and she's going to be forced into these situations where she, she has to make decisions that will change her forever. And so it's something that you'll see in the beginning. She's afraid, and rightly so. Anybody who's in this experience, capsized and stranded on an island with hostile natives, I think anybody would be scared. But she's afraid, and she doesn't know what she's capable of. But as she grows on this island, she's going to start to become more assertive, more proactive. She's going to start to show the seeds of the character that the people know, and that's something that's really exciting.
Okay, in terms of, so basically she's learning how to be what she eventually becomes later on. So, well, to be honest, I didn't feel good, shooting down a deer.
It's a hard moment for so many people. Me too.
Especially where I shot it and it died. That wasn't like...
It was...
Yeah, but then I understand how it would work in terms of making Lara grow. So what were like some of the decisions behind certain game mechanics to tie in with how she is in her current state?
Yeah, well, we don't want Lara to just grow through the narrative. We actually want her to grow through gameplay also.
Yeah.
So the two gameplay facets that really help to mirror that are the survival skills and then these upgrades to her equipment. And we're not getting too much into these systems just yet. We're going to show them more at a later date. But essentially, Lara can do things like scavenger hunt and gain XP, and then as she, or even just exploration, finding new spaces and going off the beaten path allows you to gain more experience. And then you can use those to level up new skills for Lara, or you can find salvage and use that to modify or change some of Lara's equipment. So that allows us to build up a natural growth and evolution for the character physically also. And essentially how that's worked into the story and narrative and the gameplay mechanics is that Lara can discover these spaces called base camps, and then once she's discovered a base camp, she can travel back to any other base camp she's found. And this allows you to re-explore. Once Lara has grown, once her skills have improved, once she's found different equipment, she can then re-explore new areas. So there's a little bit of freedom in that regard.
Yeah, I thought that the actual environments themselves were pretty expansive.
Mm-hmm. You haven't even seen some of the big ones. They're incredible.
It's like, but then so do you have to level? Well, I wouldn't say really level up, but grow to a certain amount before you could go to, like you're saying, before you could go to a new pot. Because I found that while obviously the map was open to me, I couldn't go everywhere that I wanted to straight away.
Yeah, well, you have to discover the areas organically through the story first. We don't want you to be allowed to like
Not just
sit and farm
run
an area,
around,
like
yeah.
just go hunt a bunch of deer and then like fast travel somewhere that you shouldn't be at. Progressing through the story is going to be linear in a certain way that, like, if you want to progress, it's going to, you just keep following your certain path or exploration or follow the goals set for you. Again, we just want to make sure that we wouldn't want to force you to sit and hunt or farm or something like that in order to get an essential skill for moving into the narrative more. It's more an issue of deciding how much you want to explore, how much you want to hunt, how much you want to do those activities so that you can choose and sort of alter the play style based on your specific preferences.
Would I assume this is the original Lara? Would you say that this is number one in terms of her her kind of timeline?
The reboot, when we say reboot, it's not just a prequel, it's a full reboot. So the canon is totally new. So this Lara Croft isn't necessarily going to go on to meet Von Croy or to know Amanda. She's going to have new experiences, new mentors, new friends in future iterations.
Okay, and then quickly going back to the gameplay. So what were like the decisions behind certain? So like I was saying about the deer, and my problem with shooting the deer. Like you collected the meat and stuff like that. What were the kind of decisions behind that to make it more lifelike in a way, if I could say that?
Yep.
That she actually had to like get meat, find shelter, and all that.
Yep, so hunting, we use it as a mechanic in the game to allow you to get XP and make the environment feel alive and whatnot. Yeah. That first hunting experience, where that cinematic plays and the deer is dying, like that, it is really like very difficult for many people. But that was a specific scene that was used to introduce the hunting mechanic, and then after that you can choose whether or not you'd like to keep doing it, whether or not you want to take the time to hunt and gain that XP and so on. It's a really fine line because we want to make sure that we make the game feel realistic and feel like she does have these basic necessities that need to be addressed, but we also don't want you to have to watch a hunger meter where you're going to, I'm getting hungry, I need to go hunt now. So it's about finding that balance between integrating experiences and mechanics in a way that ground the game in reality, but don't have you resource managing and taking you out of the game.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, finally, so where can basically fans get more info and stuff, and when is the game coming out?
The game is coming out March 5 for 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. If you're looking for more information, you can always go to TombRaider.com. We have a pretty active Facebook page, forums, and then also a Tomb Raider blog, which is on Tumblr.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for speaking
to
us, Megan.
Much.
Yeah. Okay, that's Tomb Raider. One more time, the release date?
March 5, 2013.
March 5th, 2013. Go check that out, and you know the deal. Subscribe to us, youtube.com/WeKnowGamerstv, and we'll see you later.
What kind of craft?
Sure you are. You just don't know it yet.